member cameras.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Social Media Day Houston, and I am so excited that I have Kristy Gillentine, our keynote speaker here today.
Hi.
Kristy, first of all, fantastic. So I was scribbling notes for pages, you guys, because with a storm the size of Harvey and all that was shared, there were so many things to take away. But the things that I wanted to talk about, you talked about hope. And so, can you just share the role that social media played in hope for your family and for Houston in general?
Yeah, just the amount of support. There was just this huge outpouring of support from my social media community, from my family, and just from all over the world for Houston and for Texas. It's just, we had the financial support, my family did, but I think even more than that, the emotional support meant more, because that really kept us going, and that really gave us the strength to take each step that we needed to take forward.
That strength in numbers is
exactly
huge. And then this I had not ever considered, and it was so huge, the power of teaching. We talked about the power of teaching with grandparents or somebody, just something simple as a tweet. And I thought, oh my gosh, ding, 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 why aren't we doing this?
911 failed.
Right.
During Harvey, and it was just because the system was completely overwhelmed. There were so many 911 calls coming in, record-breaking amounts, and 911 could not handle the overload that they got. And so people were turning to social media when 911 failed, and there were some people who didn't have that as an option, didn't have that as a last resort.
So teaching somebody could make the difference in saving a life, possibly.
Possibly. I mean, there's no guarantee when you send that tweet or post to that Facebook group that you're entered into a queue to be rescued. But there is the chance that somebody who can help you will see that. Or somebody will see that and share it with somebody who can help you.
It's the power of those communities that are built. So when you have your community built, you know it will be shared, which is awesome. How about the role of volunteers? Because you know that my heart with volunteers is huge. And I just wanted to know, how important is the role of volunteers?
Sorry.
And Kristy's an important person, so that happens.
Sorry.
What is the role of volunteers, and how important was that to this crisis, I would call it?
Crucial. It was because of those volunteers that so many lives were saved.
Yes.
People showing up with boats and monster trucks, and just their two hands ready to help however they could. And
these weren't trained people. These weren't professional emergency rescue people. These were just people like you and I, right?
Mm-hmm. Completely grassroots efforts, volunteer efforts. People who had a boat or had a big truck or had the ability to get out there and do something, and had the ability to get into the city to be able to do something.
Anybody can help. That's huge. So you talked about sharing your story and sharing other people's stories, and you said how important that is. And I hear this all the time. People don't want to say what's going on. They want their privacy. They don't want people to know what's going on in their life. But when I watched this, I watched people's stories shared. And coming from Michigan, we don't deal with hurricanes. So for me, it was huge. But for you found this to be therapeutic and healing, did you not?
I did, because my family was going through all of this, and then to be able to step outside of us and see what other families were going through, what other individuals were going through, it reminded me that we're not in this alone, that we're all in this together, that there are people, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people dealing with this same issue, and it was very therapeutic.
That's awesome. So you had shared today, you shared two really big events that are huge. Number one, it has to do with this bling on your finger here. So Kristy's getting hitched, just so you know.
Off the market, fellas.
Off the market. But you had some pretty big things happen. It was 10 months. What's the big significance of 10 months for your family?
10 months. As of last Friday, everybody is back in their houses.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
We had 3 houses flood, and my brother, my mom, and my grandparents, and they are all back in their houses. Thank God.
fantastic. The last thing that I really wanted to end on, and there were so many things, Kristy, I'm telling you,
there's a lot of notes.
So many things, because every time you mentioned something, it was huge. So I encourage you, please go back and check all of the live streams that were placed. Her entire story was shared today, so make sure you do that. But you wanted to say that Texas is Houston's, not just Texas, but Houston's legacy is not the storm. So tell me what their legacy is.
Harvey's legacy, I don't think, is going to be the losses. There's so many losses from Harvey, but it's going to be the gains that followed and that are still coming. Gains through relationships that have been built, communities that have been built and grown, and just the things that we've learned from this storm that we can take forward with us and do better.
I like that a lot. Kristy, thank you for sharing. I know that this was not an easy thing for you to go through and live through again. And it's hurricane season here again, you guys, so this is not an easy time. But it's important that we share our stories and that we share them boldly and that we share them often so that people can connect and they can help. Kristy, thank you. No, we're hugging. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Stay tuned, there's a lot more to come.
Oh, my face, hello.